It's not often that I'll sit down and enjoy a game throughout the entirety of my playthrough. Even the best reviewed games will have parts of it that exist simply to extend the game's length for no real reason. Like a Dragon: Infinite Wealth opens 2024 with a bang, showcasing the best of what the series has to offer and more. The gameplay evolution from Yakuza Like a Dragon is night and day. From the simple addition of being able to move your character during combat, to things like combo moves and showdowns, it's all incredibly refined and engaging. I've always felt like the crazy physics added in Yakuza 6 were always underutilized, but it's taken full advantage of here. The game constantly encourages you to be willing to move around and experiment with different parts of the environment. The new jobs keep in line with how silly the game is during combat, though I do wish that jobs weren't separated by gender, as the options for female characters are severely lacking compared to the male characters. Let me be a Night Queen as Kiryu, dammit! The grind for leveling up is not nearly as bad as before, with dungeons getting progressively more difficult the further you go down. Enemies will give tons of experience and money, which will let you gain more powerful skills and weapons. Weapon crafting and upgrades will help expand your arsenal, with the most powerful weapons being only available through crafting. Unless you paid for the more expensive deluxe edition of the game, however, don't expect to use those fancy new weapons in New Game Plus, as that is locked behind DLC, and the best weapons in the game cannot be earned in a normal playthrough. Thank you, Sega. Sunny beaches and sudden downpours await both protagonists, Ichiban Kasuga and Kazuma Kiryu. After a series of unfortunate events, Ichiban is given the opportunity to reunite with his mother in Hawaii. From that point on, the story starts to unravel in a way that kind of reminds me of how Yakuza 0 would constantly keep you on your toes, and how brutality would be shown to remind the player of what's at stake. While I am sure that you're interested in hearing a lot more about the story, it is something that I do think should be experienced when you get your hands on a copy of the game. The story itself does have its own issues, where you'll wonder when a relevant plot thread would be brought up again, only to be very loosely and quickly resolved. It's not the best story the series has offered, but it's still an enjoyable ride that'll have you in your seat till the end. The biggest appeal, as always, is the side content. And boy, there's a lot of it. So, let's go down an incomplete list here of new stuff unique to Infinite Wealth. We've got Sicko Snap, a Pokemon Snap-like that has you taking pictures for the police while riding on a tram. Sujimon, very much inspired by Pokemon but plays nothing like Pokemon. Crazy Delivery, Crazy Taxi but worse. I pray that you don't get Ichiban as your Uber driver. Mismatch, I didn't capture any gameplay footage for this one. Lie on your Tinder profile so that you can get laid. I hope you like getting catfish. And the big one, Dondoko Island. If you've ever played Animal Crossing, this is the big game added to Infinite Wealth. Your goal is to help this little island that is getting filled with trash and turn it into a 5-star resort. The further along you are in the story and sub-stories, you'll gain new tourists to visit your resort. You can customize the placement of buildings, clean up the island, gain materials, fish, catch bugs, and beat up people who try to keep your area trashy. It is very time consuming, but very rewarding if you don't want to focus on doing dungeons for grinding out money and experience. I also took this screenshot with the in-game photo mode camera, and I genuinely couldn't stop. I'm sorry, looking at it now, I'm laughing. There aren't as many sub-stories compared to previous entries, but the amount of time you'll take playing through them will end up being about the same. You'll see familiar faces and meet new people, but the quality of the sub-stories is probably the highest it's ever been. They'll range from helping a sick child meet his hero to helping a baby bird find his mother because he won't leave your hair. They're all great fun, and keep things lighthearted when the game decides to get a little too dark. As one of the few people who truly enjoy Yakuza 3, I missed the sunny beaches and island feel of Okinawa. While Yakuza 6 brought us back temporarily for the introduction of the game, there is no city like Okinawa to explore. Honolulu helps bring the idea of not just the player being a tourist, but also Ichiban being one as well. It's unfamiliar territory in a country he's never been to, people speaking a language he knows nothing about, and quickly learning the politics and corruption of those who aim only for greed. Honolulu truly feels lived in, and one of the things that helps a lot is Aloha Links. This little function doesn't serve too much of a purpose outside of gaining some items, but it doesn't hurt to just press X to say Aloha when you're running around beating people up with a surfboard. My total playtime ended up being around 60 hours. I did a decent amount of sub-stories, but my focus was going through the main story and dungeons. When I started the game, I had some difficult personal events happen in my life. Without divulging too much information, playing through a specific portion of the game felt very cathartic for me. Infinite Wealth managed to help me push through the pain of this issue and learn a few lessons along the way to keep myself strong in moments of hardship. Yes, I know that sounds cheesy and probably stupid, but we all have our favorite bits of media that helped us get through hard times. If you watched my review on Like a Dragon Gaiden, The Man Who Erased His Name, you'll know that I wasn't necessarily too fond of it. While it was a decent supplement for what was to come, I didn't think I would end up saying that Infinite Wealth would be one of the best RPGs I've played in a long time, yet here we are. The amount of content on offer here is staggering. Not to the point of being insanely bloated like Yakuza 5, but still jam-packed for those looking to get their money's worth.